Hi guys! So the theme for this week is moving on. I guess you could say I've had to do a lot of moving on recently. I recently moved away from home and I live in Ohio, so I've kind of moved on from my childhood, which has been really great. I actually really like being an adult. Also, I've had to move on recently from like school a little bit because I'm moving, well, I'm not moving. I'm going to be in Spain next semester, so it's like moving on from a lot of the things that happened last semester and being able to enter this new world in a different country. So that's going to be interesting. Moving on is very inevitable. Everything is just so fluid. Life is so fluid that nothing is ever the same and nothing ever can go back to the way it was, and you're constantly moving on from so many different things. I also think it's interesting because my college campus has been going through a lot recently. I don't really want to talk about it, but like our entire college campus has had to move on from a lot of different things. It's really hard when you have a whole community moving on from one thing because we're all trying to support each other. And some people are really having a harder time because, you know, they're closer to the situation than you were. There's no escaping any of it because everyone's really going through a lot of the same things at the same time. And so you have to, you know, all figure out a way to move on together. And since my school campus is 1,800 people, everything affects everyone. And so, you know, like everyone is going through the same thing, even if like they weren't close to the situation. And moving on can be hard, but I think it's really good too, because if we don't ever move on, then we're never going to move forward, and we can never become like the people that we want to become, and we can never experience anything new. I made a video on my main channel. People have said it's fairly good. I put a lot of effort into it, a lot more than I usually ever put into it, and so I'd really appreciate it if anyone who's watching this would go watch that, because it really does deal with like moving on and the meaning of life and death and all this stuff. I sort of feel like nothing's really very stable in my life because everything is changing so much, and so like, it kind of is freaking me out a little bit, but I think it's a good thing because I'm just living things as they come, and there really isn't any constant in my life right now. Like, I don't even have a constant room. I don't think I could have gotten through a lot of the things that I got through this semester if I hadn't have had some of my friends. I like when we upload in weeks where we like actually have something to say instead of just rambling at a camera. So I think it might be beneficial for us to make it not mandatory to upload every week, but for us to, you know, come up with an idea every once in a while that we want to talk about, and then talk about that for that week, and then, you know, take another break, because it is a lot to keep up with a collab channel and a personal channel and the rest of the world. You just kind of like, if you just let everything happen and just kind of like whatever, then it's gonna happen anyways. Might as well let it. And moving university, it's gonna be so much fun. Daisy and Sophie, it's gonna be great. You guys are gonna have a great time. Daisy, you have another year, but it's gonna be good. And I know it's a little scary to think about at first, but it's gonna be great. And yes, your friends from secondary school are not gonna probably be the friends that you have for the rest of your life. They might not. They might, but not all of them. And so it's important to keep that in mind too. I don't know if I said what I wanted to say as eloquently as I could have, but I hope you kind of get the point. I've moved on from a lot of things. I don't want to name all of them. And it gets better when you, yeah, and moving on can be good and moving on can suck, but life is life. So that's pretty much my main point. Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, also, I want to be the first one to video congratulate Sophie. She got into Kent University, so that's great. She will be going to school next year.